Cody Gakpo's blanked in the last two, but maybe that's a good thing because fewer people are going to buy him. Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. These are my early thoughts ahead of game week 23. We're going to talk about Liverpool. We're going to talk Cody Gakpo, my transfers in this game week. Before we do, though, we'll check out my bus team and how I'm looking. I'm also going to update you towards the end of the show on my game week just gone and my current points, so stay tuned for that. It makes some grim reading when you consider I sold Phil Foden for his, 5 goals and assists in the last 2 games. Yeah, brilliant. We'll talk about that later. You can see some FPL pain, but first, here's my team. I'm in all right shape with Sales in goal, Hall, Trent and Munoz, my back 3. I've got Salah captain, as so many will have, and Palmer, Rodgers, Bruno. Doesn't look like I need to make a transfer, but I feel like triple Liverpool. I've got João Pedro, Jackson and Isak up front. Triple Liverpool is going to be a must, right? We're all going to need triple Liverpool for the double game week, unless you're using the assistant managership on slot, and that's not for me. So if we're going triple Liverpool, the big conversation to have is it's Trent and Salah plus who? Is it Van Dijk, Alisson and Konate? Many will feel like a defender is a safer route. We know the minutes are guaranteed and we feel like clean sheets will be there. If you're chasing like me, or if you want to go for big upside picks, you've got to back an attacker. Jota is too flaky with injuries. Darwin is too flaky with minutes. Diaz is flaky-ish with minutes. It has to be Cody Gakpo. So we're going to compare Gakpo and Diaz in a second. But before we do, we also need to consider the Liverpool fixtures, because the spacing between fixtures is really, really important here, both for the double, but before and after that. Now, remember, before the double game week, the reason why I'm saying I might buy Cody Gakpo now, I don't need to. I could definitely keep Jackson in my team for Man City. But Jackson out, Gakpo in now gives me Liverpool playing Ipswich at home before the double game week. And that's the really important thing. It's Ipswich at home, which is big upside. Then it's a double game week with upside. And then after that, it's Wolves. Let's commit to our 3 Liverpool sooner rather than later. So if we're doing that, well, they play in the Champions League and the spacing is good. The good news is it's not a Wednesday game, it's a Tuesday game against Lille, and it's at home. So there's more spacing between fixtures because they start on a Tuesday in the Champions League. So home to Lille, good. Liverpool, remember, want to secure that top 8 in the Champions League. This is round 7. Round 8 is next week against PSV. Ironically, Gakpo's old club. If you're enjoying the show, by the way, guys, do hit the like button. But also, it really helps me out if you subscribe. So subscribe to the channel. That would mean loads. I know loads of you are subbed already, but there's so many out there that just watch and search and just hit the subscribe button and support me, will you? Liverpool play Ipswich, obviously, at the weekend. The spacing there is fine because it's 2 at home. And then the trip to Eindhoven is an hour flight from Liverpool. Easy journey to make. Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday. Okay, I'm not worried about rotation there of minutes for key men. I think we're good. You might see an early sub or 2 if they're cruising. And remember, against PSV, they might have already secured top 8. You could see some rotation. After that, though, it goes to the Premier League fixture against Bournemouth. It's an away trip, not ideal. That's the first game of double game week 24. It's on the 1st of Feb. 11 days later, the 4th game in this list is the 2nd game of game week 24. There is 2 fixtures to play for Liverpool where players could get injured. You could captain Salah and he gets injured versus Spurs. It could happen. Spurs is an important game for them because they're down. They've got to go full strength. This is a semi-final. And then Plymouth is the game where they'll rotate en masse in the FA Cup, meaning for the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison against Moyes' Everton, you could go into that fairly fresh because you've been rotated on the Sunday. You've had a rest on the Sunday. And then it's back to action against Wolves. You see this congestion. You can't go near a Jota, I don't think. I'd love a Jota, but it feels too risky. You can't go near a Darwin. You could consider a Diaz or a Gakpo if you're going for an upside pick. If you're going for a defender or clean sheets versus Ipswich, highly likely. Against Bournemouth and Everton, less likely. Wolves, likely. You might get 2 clean sheets out of 4, but they might just be 6 pointers for Alisson, Van Dijk or Konate. How about a brace, right? You can get that if you go for a Cody Gakpo. So look, this is the average position map from the game just gone. Gakpo and Diaz both drift left. They rotate a little bit, but Gakpo has started the last 10 games on the left-hand side. Let's stop calling Gakpo a rotation risk. The last 10 Premier League games, he has started on the left-hand side. What more do you want? Sure, you'll get some early subs. That's fine. He started the last 10. He's first choice on the left. And against Brentford, when they're chasing and they need to put attacking subs on, who goes off first? There's no Jota. He's not in the squad. Diaz or Gakpo, Diaz goes off first every single time. And that is why Gakpo's the better pick. Diaz goes off around the hour mark. Gakpo played 87 minutes. Of course, Salah stays on the pitch at all times. This is from the scout members area, but Cody Gakpo, like, more starts. This is since Jota got injured in game week 8. So this is from game week 9. Jota got injured. Let's compare their minutes, right? More starts, more minutes played, more goals, more assists. You surely got to prefer Cody Gakpo, same assists. In fact, FPL assists, I think slightly narrow, 2-1 there for Diaz. But Cody Gakpo's got 6-3 goals there. If you're listening on podcast, it's 6 goals for Gakpo, 3 for Diaz since Jota got injured in game week 8. When you look at the visual stuff, chances created, goal attempts, baseline bonus, XG, goals, all of that is in favour of Gakpo over Diaz. We know the minutes is there. So is the expected data, the XG, the XA. Cody Gakpo is definitely a good pick. He's listed as a forward, which is a bit annoying, playing on the left wing. But maybe that's better because maybe forward slots are harder to come by. He's cheap. 7.4 million, 9% owned. I want him in my team. And I don't want to wait to the double when I can get him in for the Ipswich at home fixture. Ipswich have just got absolutely spanked by Man City. Let's not forget that. Guys, I'm going to show you my team in a second. Before I do, if you fancy supporting the channel by being a member, you'd be so welcome. Squad members can hit the join button and they get extra content. I do extra videos every week for channel members. And I answer all questions. When you've got a question, you just comment on one of my videos. I'll get back to you with an answer. And when I do lives, the lives are very much about the members. You've seen the emojis next to people's names in the lives. Every comment pretty much is brought up on screen. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, the Ultras, there's about 25 of us in there. It's loads of fun. Come and join the Ultras WhatsApp and you'll love it. It's 24/7, but it's great for all things football. There's some big names in there as well. Some big names. A former FPL winner, other YouTubers. We even have a former world champion snooker player in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. Who's obviously into FPL. My team then. This is my team. If I go Gakpo in, I get a ton of money in the bank. I've already got 1.3 million with 2 free transfers. If I make this move, I get 1.9 million in the bank and still carry the 2 free transfers ahead of the double. This would be Jackson out, Cody Gakpo in. It looks good. It looks like it's got good balance. I've got 3 Liverpool in place. I've got an Everton player in place in Mikalenko for the double. Will I flirt with a DCL? Like if we're looking at forward plans here, João Pedro out for DCL? Maybe, but I don't think so. Definitely an option though. Definitely an option for the double. Sometimes we get a little bit too excited about the doubles. We got to remember, is it worth a precious transfer on an Everton player? Well, maybe that Leicester game gives us the upside to go to a Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin is affordable. Similar price point, of course, to João Pedro, who many have got. Calvert-Lewin is 5.4 million. He's going to be a 90-minute man under Moyes. I'll think about that, but ahead of game week 24, not ahead of game week 23, where Everton play Brighton away. One to consider, maybe, though, for that double in 24. Or possibly the assistant manager chip. There is a world, this is a really important sort of semi-announcement here, okay? Game week 24 is a double game week. We know it. Liverpool and Everton. When you use the assistant manager chip, it's for 3 game weeks. There's a very good chance that we're not going to get back-to-back doubles this season. The only time we might get back-to-back doubles, the most likely time we'll get back-to-back double is game week 25. Could see Fulham and Spurs get a double game week. It depends how Spurs do in Europe. It depends if Spurs beat Liverpool in that semi-final of the EFL Cup. If they do, and the Premier League announced that there's going to be a double game week in 25 before game week 24, assistant manager chip has to be active. It's the best chip in the game. You'll get a double in 24 for Moyes or Slot. You then go 25, you get a double for Fulham or Spurs, and you make a transfer. You can do that with assistant manager. The assistant manager chip has to be central to your chip strategy. And it has to be central to your chip strategy because it's the best chip with the biggest upside. You can get 20, 30 points off your free hit, your bench boost, your triple captain. You can get 60 off a 60 plus, right? Off the assistant manager chip. And if you get back-to-back in 24-25, we got to use it. So it's an option. It's an option. I am ruling out Arne Slot because I want to get triple Liverpool sooner rather than later. You can't have 3 Liverpool players plus Slot. The assistant manager eats into one of those slots, remember. In terms of my points, it's been a terrible season. You guys know that. I don't think I've ever had a season quite like this. I've had some rotten luck in the last few weeks. The big decision for me, head of Gameweek 21, was I sold Phil Foden. I'd had a 6 and an 8 pointer from him, but I didn't feel like City were playing well. I didn't feel like Foden were playing well. I felt like I got lucky with 6 and 8. I then saw Bruno play against Liverpool, 2-2 draw, beat Arsenal in the FA Cup, pens albeit, but they looked really good and Bruno scored a worldie. And Bruno was about to play Southampton. So I decided to bring him in and captain him. It meant I sold Phil Foden, bought in Bruno. Foden scored a brace, 15 points. Bruno blanked. And I moved the armband from Isak, who got 3 returns, to Bruno. It was about a 27-point swing. Then game week 22 comes round. Bruno gets me a penalty, but Phil Foden goes and gets 3 assists, a goal, 2 goals, 3 and an assist. Again, another mega haul from Phil Foden. On the move, I don't want to work it out, but I'm about 45 points down, 40 points down, I'd say. Absolute killer. Now, I need those points because I'm having a stinker of a season. Those 45 points would give me an all right rank. As things stand, I'm going into the Chelsea fixture, where I do have Palmer, Enzo and Jackson. To be fair, I should get a green arrow at 1.36 million. But I'm not here to get the violin out, although I've just done that. I'm here to do these videos and give advice. And my rank shouldn't matter too much. Annoyingly, it does. You'll see the views on this video are way lower than the views at the start of the season. Unfortunately, people only want to watch you if you're doing well. That's fine. That's up to them. I would like to think my advice and my play in a game that is heavily based on luck, I might add. I've always said when I'm doing well or badly, it's a 70% luck game, 30% skill. And this season, it's not gone my way. But there's plenty of football to be played. Whether I have green arrows, red arrows, 2 million ranks or 2,000 ranks, I'll be here doing these team selection videos, hopefully to give some good advice, right? I hope my team doesn't mean the success of my team doesn't mean you watch or support the channel. If you do want to show your support in any way, shape or form, I'd absolutely love you to do so. And I appreciate those that do. Loads of you hit the like button. Loads of you hit the subscribe button. Loads of you become a squad tier member just to show your support. Thank you so much for doing that. I'll be here come rain or shine. I guarantee that. If you're playing Champions League Fantasy, I'm going to drop a Champions League Fantasy video deadline stream on Tuesday. So come by, see my deadline stream if you fancy it. And if not, I'll be confirming my team later this week. Champions League fixtures could matter to our transfers. At the moment, it's Gakpo in, but let's see where I feel, how I feel after the Jackson performance. You might be watching this on Tuesday, and Jackson's already played, by the way. Let's hope he bangs. And let's see if there's any injuries or anything that comes up in the week. Good stuff, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Really do appreciate it. If you do want to be a squad member, the word join, click that below the video and you'll see a link in the description. You can do all that stuff there. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.